Welcome, everybody, to another episode of OG55 Live. Yeah, you heard me right. We are live. I got the Italiano and Mr. Webba on a live today. We are taking your questions tonight on this Jeezy, Fitty, Feezy, Law. Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome to this live show. It's going to be lit. We got Mr. Webba with us, and we got the Italiano. We're taking your questions, and we got a lot of great questions in the chat already. Want to welcome Mr. T.S. Wade, Trip Johnson, Kiki and Luca, Abby, CSRS, Matterhorn Mania. Who else we got in the chat? We got Dragon Blood, Remy, SD Drawings. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Before we dive in, Mr. Webba, I'll start with you. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fantastic. Had a really busy day today out, just saving the neighborhood out there. But you know what? I'm back in the saddle with you guys for this awesome live. It's actually been a while since I've done a live with you guys, so I'm actually very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the hell?
Where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter, Mr. Webba at Webslinger760. You can also find me on Threads and Instagram, Mr. Webba at Cobweb91.
There he is. And we got the Italiano. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And also check out my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55.
Now, everybody at home, the Italiano, myself, and Mr. Theme Park Wizard, we're at Universal. We did like a little bar chat over there. That conversation went so off the rails, it wasn't even funny. I mean, it was funny, actually, but it was a great time. Really had a blast. We talked to a lot of people in the bar, and we had a really fun time there. So check that out, Citrico Central on George's channel. It was a really good conversation. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some of these questions. We got Mr. T.S. Wade in the house. I already asked George this. Now I'm asking Orange, and this also applies to you, Webba, because I don't think he's asked you either. So, Orange, how do you feel that Once Upon a Studio won a Children's and Family Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Short Form Program? I really enjoyed Once Upon a Studio. I really did. I know our good friend Matthew Murr has criticisms of it, and I respect that. I absolutely respect that, but I did enjoy this short quite a bit, and I think it deserves the awards. I mean, I don't know what else to say, really, other than that. I thought it was a good short. I thought it was really cute. It was probably one of the better things of the 100th anniversary that we got, and I thought it was fantastic. What about you, Mr. Webba? Are you cool with this decision, or did you even see the short?
No, yeah, I saw this short. I thought it was fantastic. To be honest, I didn't even know that it actually won this award. So that's freaking awesome. I would actually like to see Disney do more of this. It was really cool to see. I always love when they do this high quality production and they have all the characters together. I was like, this is awesome. So yeah, it's cool. I'm really surprised. I'm not surprised. I am surprised that I haven't heard that it won the award. So congratulations to Disney for that. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm all on board with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, George, you were laughing. Why are you laughing, bro?
Sorry, it was just how you said we.
Oh, we. We got Mr. Trip Johnson. Trip, it is good to see you as always. Trip says, hey, gang, do you have an opinion on why the live action Snow White bombed? Yeah, I do have a lot of opinions on that. Okay, so I think the biggest problem with Snow White was the movie itself. I think the dwarves look like absolute shit. Okay, let's be honest. That weird Polar Express, Uncanny Valley look was not it. They should have got real little people to play these roles. Okay, that would have made the film look a million times better than what it looked like at the end of the day. I think that hurt it. I think in general, I heard it was an okay movie. Not getting fantastic reviews though. So being a meh kind of reviewed movie is obviously also going to hurt it. Now, the elephant in the room, Rachel Zegler, I understand she got very political. She says some bad stuff about the original film, all that stuff. I think she definitely played a part in hurting this movie. But I think people are putting way too much of the blame on her. I think if families like the soccer moms and the general public wanted to see this movie, it would have done better. Okay. I don't think Rachel Zegler's comments would have like impacted the normies all that much. I think that's really people kind of in our bubble, more or less. So she did make an impact. I don't want people to think that, like I'm saying that she didn't make any impact. I think she did hurt the movie. I'm not saying that she didn't, but I think people are putting too much weight into her. I don't think that she's the main reason. I think the movie itself, the way the dwarfs looked, the mediocre reviews, that's what really hurt the movie. And there is a little bit of live action remake fatigue. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I think it wasn't just one thing. Like, it wasn't just the dwarves. It wasn't just Rachel. It wasn't just, another live action. I think they all kind of complemented the factor in a negative way, if that makes sense. For instance, yeah, like Rachel gave out, she was outwardly spoken about her political views. A lot of actors are. She's not the only one. I think in this particular case, I think when she was doing the interviews promoting the film, the way that she went about kind of downing the original animated film and everything, that's where I feel like, because you want to kind of uplift it, even though it would be a difference between the animation and the live action, but say, you know what, we took this story and we looked at it and then we added more to it. Like, in that sense, like the way that she made it sound like, okay, like, whoa, this is a really old movie and we had to change everything. That's where I think it rubbed people the wrong way. Again, that's not the only reason. And then of course with the dwarves and everything. And I feel like also too, not even just the dwarves, like I've seen the movie in theaters and I have to actually say, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Right. Better than what it was. I absolutely loved the music, believe it or not. The music, I thought, actually was a key factor of why I really liked it so much. But the visuals, honestly, were crappy. Yeah. Not even just with the dwarves, even the set pieces. Like, you look at it and you can say, whoa, this is computer generated imagery.
Really?
If you look at the back scene, like with the cottage and the castle and everything, you look at it and you're like, oh, I could tell this was made from a computer. Like, you can tell where the scenes were integrated with the live action props. And to me, if I had to pick and choose what they really should have done with this movie, if they wanted to keep it the way it was, just release it on Disney Plus. It had no business being in theaters.
Yeah, the problem is that they sunk a lot of money into it, and I think they just wanted to recoup as much as they could.
I think another problem, OG, is that again, it's everything you guys said. Absolutely, 100%. Like, the dwarves look like they're inbred from some like white trailer park people, and then and then the casting I wasn't really a fan of. However, I think what also hurt it too was the longevity of how long we kept hearing about this movie for. It's been like 4 or 5 years. We kept talking about this movie, issues. And I think that has turned everybody away because you're waiting so long for this disaster to come out, right? And people don't want to see it.
Yeah, and I think also, it didn't look very good. And I think a lot of stuff that, like, we talk a lot about the fans versus the normies here on the channel a lot when it comes to theme parks, and we also talk about it with movies too. But I think a lot of the political stuff that Zegler was involved in, and even like the stuff like Zegler like talking badly about the original movie, like the soccer mom, the families, the normies don't give a shit about her opinions on the original film. They just don't. That's a Disney nerd problem. Totally. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one cares about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of our little nerdy space, So I think that it was really the film that hurt the film, so to speak. It was really like, it looked mid. It was mid. The dwarves look like you were saying, Webba. I won't repeat it, but yes. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? It was just not. It didn't work, And Remy D here says, I also think Snow White just isn't that popular of a princess in the first place, at least not with modern audiences. See, and that's the other thing too. Snow White carries a lot of history with Disney. I mean, a lot, right? Snow White kind of built the studio in a lot of ways. Obviously Mickey Mouse as well. But the thing is like, yeah, I mean, is it a popular character with like little girls and stuff? Do you see a lot of Snow Whites on Halloween? I don't know. Not so much. You know what I'm saying? So Remy has a good point here.
I mean, I want to say though, real quick, I might get kind of deep in the weeds with this, but I will say that Snow White, honestly, this will sound kind of weird, but she's not really the best looking princess either. You know, I don't know any girl that wants to go and look like how she looks. You know, they want to have the long hair, the pretty dress. I'm sorry, Snow White, she don't got that game. You know?
she did in the 30s though. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Right now, probably not. But in the 30s, that Betty Boop sort of pinup girl thing. Oh man, that was like the thing back then. But now, yeah, probably not as much, you know. But I'll tell you who never goes out of style. Jessica Rabbit. Jasmine too. You're a man of taste, Webba. You're a man of taste. Kiki and Luca here says,
"Do you think off of Jasmine, man? I've been calling her for how many years?"
Kiki and Luca here says, "Do you think Disney will stop race bending characters like Ariel and Snow White due to lackluster box office performance?" I don't know. They probably will. I'm actually not 100% against it. And the reason being is, and I'm going to show you an example in a second, but like, I think that you can do like the diversity thing, the inclusive thing, and change the character's race, but still be somewhat true to the original animated character, right? Like, no secret here on the channel, I am a fan of K-pop. I absolutely love K-pop. And one of my favorite groups is Le Sserafim, right? Now, she's Korean. But with the red hair, and like Webba talked about it before the show, you put some blue contacts in, she could be an amazing Ariel in live action. I think she would really look like her, but she's not white though, right? But she doesn't have to be. She still fits the role of Ariel, I think, very well. So Disney can still be inclusive. They can still change the race up, but still be kind of true to the character and how the character looks in an animated movie. I think Youngjin is a perfect example of a great Ariel. But George, what do you think? I know you're a huge Youngjin fan as well. So
I am, yes, very much. So for me, I'm kind of in the middle with it because I see it as a double-edged sword, because when it comes to characters like Tiana or Mulan or Pocahontas, you know, they are, you know, culturally diversified as Native American, Asian, and African American. I wouldn't want to see those characters being changed in that manner. So I say this about overall. So it's not that I'm like picking one over the other, but when I look at Ariel, I see a white redhead. You know, when I see Belle, I see a white brunette, you know, but as I said, now am I nitpicky that it's like, oh my God, they got to be whiter than white, you know, like whiter than white bread, you know? No, but I do feel like that there should be some, I guess just because I resonate with the animated characters so much that like when I see the live action, it's like, okay, like I want to see some kind of interconnection with it. Otherwise, you kind of lose me story-wise. And I say that all around. I say that for Pocahontas, with Mulan, with Tiana. I want them to stay culturally diversified as they are as characters. But I also say the same with Snow White, Belle, Cinderella. So it does go by for me the type of, and I want to say that I agree with you, OG, with when you say as long as they can fit that role and they can be believable to that character, then I would be okay with it. But also at the same time, I can see where it kind of takes you out of that mindset that when you look at a live action, especially if it's coming from Disney, I think if it came from like another studio that they were doing another rendition of the story and they want to change it up in a new way, I can understand that in some sense. But when Disney does a live action referencing the animated, I mean, obviously I don't want to see it go for like scene for scene. I do want to see some changes up, but I do want to see the similarities between the two as well.
See, George, so that's my thing, right? Is that if another company made, or even if Disney made a different mermaid movie that wasn't The Little Mermaid or Snow White or whatever, and it was something else, yeah, it could be another mermaid or whatever, and it was a different, colored actor or whatnot, that's perfectly fine. for me personally, I want to see whether it's brown, white, black, whoever. I want to see a real life depiction of the animated cartoon. That's just me personally. Whatever skin factor they are from the cartoon, that's what I want to see. So Tiana, I want to see a black actress. For Mulan, a Chinese actress, right? That's what I want depicted as in live action. So I don't say like, oh, I need everything to be white. I just want them to represent how they look like from the Disney animated film, if that's what they're basing the movie off of. That's so if you have another company come in, or even Disney say, hey, I want to make a movie about this, and it's like, for example, again, if Disney made another mermaid movie, but it wasn't about Ariel, right? Another mermaid, that's perfectly fine. Tinkerbell, okay? In the live action Peter Pan is a black Tinkerbell. That's fine that it's a black fairy. I don't care. But if it's going to be Tinkerbell, I want her to be the white blonde, because that's what she is from the animated feature. So that's just what I'm saying, is that I want them to reflect what we know as from the animated movies is all.
Okay, that's fair. And Kiki and Luca here with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Kiki and Luca. We do appreciate you, sir. Inbred white trailer trash people. Go, Mr. Webba. I'm your number one fan. That was pretty funny, Mr. Webba. That was pretty funny. And Sam Chat here with a $2 super chat. Missed you, three fine looking gents. We missed you too, Sam Chat. And you know what, Sam Chat, you're a fine looking gent yourself. We got to get Sam back on the show. I did get your email, Sam, and we will definitely have you on again very, very soon. He recently went to Walt Disney World. Very curious to hear his thoughts on that. Mr. Seymour Duck. Seymour and I did a fantastic video last night about grifters. Totally not controversial, but it's for members only right now. Check it out if you are a member. It is a absolute banger. Mr. Duck always brings the brilliance, always brings the heat, but he's been a member for 8 months. He's family here on OG55. Seymour, thank you, sir, for all you do. We do appreciate you, brother. And we got someone else very special in the chat today. I think you might know this one. I think you might know her. Who is this? Who is this? Larissa Ebba? Authenticity to their cultural cartoon depictions is what I always want to see with Disney princesses, right? Yep. So yeah, you want to have that authenticity. Absolutely, Larissa. Absolutely.
Right. For example, right, with Moana, right? I want to see a Polynesian descent be playing that. Right, or not some white person playing it, or Asian person playing it. No, I want the authenticity of that cultural background playing that character.
Right, or not some inbred white trailer person, right? You want the
and even like you had mentioned Jessica Rabbit. That's like getting someone with tits like a sparrow. Like
you got to come with the realism. You know what I'm saying? You got to come with the realism. Absolutely. Every single time.
That right there real quick for everybody. That is Mrs. Webba down there. So
Mrs. Webba is in the house. The lovely Mrs. Webba. Thank you so much for joining us, Miss Webba, or Miss Webba. Does she like to be Webba too? Or is she
you probably just call her Ebba, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't even asked her yet. So I didn't even know she was coming on, actually.
It's good to see you, Larissa. It is absolutely good to see you. We had a great time. Larissa came with us to 90s night and had a great time. Olga's Cantina was lit. It was so lit.
she said it right there, Mrs. Webba. So
there she is, Mrs. Webba. There she is. Absolutely. And Dragon Blood here says that grifter debunk video to me was gold. I'm glad to see people out there who literally realizes what's going on. Thank you, Dragon Blood. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, that video was, man, that was fun. And it was pretty hot. It was over an hour of just heat, absolute heat. Matterhorn Mania here. Congrats, OG and crew, on all your growth. Well, thank you, Matterhorn Mania. We do appreciate you. We do appreciate you. Thank you so very much. And we got Mr. Seymour Duck, part 1 of 2. I believe people are not willing to spend their hard-earned money on movies that are just mid. They have to go above a threshold for them to spend their money when inflation is high. With that being said, I think this movie is going to do well on Disney Plus, just like the same reason why movies from Apple, Netflix, and Amazon do well on their streaming services. That's a great point.
Very
yes. Actually, can I bring this up because I always rant to OG about this all the time, and Seymour is absolutely right. Because I think we also talk about this with Jay Shear as well. Is that Me, I do love going to the movies, right? Not just for Disney movies, but for just any movie that looks interesting, right? I do love the movie theater going experience. However, there is one part of it I really despise, okay? That is the crappy 30, 40 minute of your time wasted sitting through stupid previews about Coca-Cola or Pepsi and their pass for the theater and then candy and whatever. And then you get 6, 7 trailers. Like, if the time says it starts at 7 o'clock, I want the movie to fucking start at 7 o'clock, okay?
Yeah.
At least have 2 separate times. Say, hey, the trailers and stuff start at this time. The movie starts at this time. That'd be great. But no, they don't. And then
you know what that's called? You know what that's called, bro? That's called Filipino time.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Well, wait, no, I'm going to complain to Abby about that, okay?
Yeah. No, but yeah, Seymour, you're right. People are very particular with the movies they see nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, we have so many options. We can watch this stuff on our phones, on streaming, all that good stuff. And really, they just want to go to a theater and they have to be all in on this movie to see it. That's why movies like Wish didn't do well in theaters, but then perform better on streaming. This Snow White will probably do better on streaming. It's not that people are hate these movies, but it's just not enough for them to spend the money, go to the theater. I'm with you, Eva. I'm with you 100% with the theater going experience. It drives me crazy. I always got some kid kicking in my seat. I always got people loud and it's just an uncomfortable experience. I'd rather be at home. I've always said that. I love
movie theaters you guys go to, because every single movie theater I've been to, either in PA or out here, I've never had that experience.
Oh, I get it all the time.
Well, George, you know what? How about we go together and I'll give you the experience? Okay, how about that?
Yeah, because usually that will happen, because every time we go on Star Tours, something happens. So
yeah. I get misgendered.
This guy literally got misgendered on Star Tours. You want to tell him the story real quick, Webba?
Dude, best moment ever. Best moment ever.
Okay, so actually, real quick before we go to the story, I just want to say also the theaters are also really expensive. Right. I mean, just if me and my wife if me and Mrs. Webb go to the theater to Regal, because that's all we have around here. Right. We buy 2 tickets. It costs $18 on a standard ticket. OK.
Right.
Then if we want to get snacks, I know people say bring your own snacks or whatever. I get that. However, I do like to get the snacks there. It's part of the experience. Right. However, for 2 people, when you're buying candy and popcorn and soda, you're looking at $45, $50. Because how expensive that is. And then it's okay, for one night out for a couple hours, you're spending about $80 probably for 2 people. Now, if you bring a family of 3, 4, 5, you're spending over $100 on a movie that's probably mid or it's stupid or boring or whatever it is. So people don't want to risk spending their hard-earned money when they can watch it on a streaming, when they can watch it on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. People are just more particular now with what they see in theaters, 100%. And we got the one, the only Mr. Theme Park Wizard in the house. Mr. Wizard is in the house. Mr. Wizard is awesome having you join us. He says, love all of y'all. We love you too, Mr. Wizard. And for all of you that have not seen it, check out George's channel, Citrico Central. George, myself, and Theme Park Wizard sat in Moe's Tavern at Universal, had a few beers. We were talking parks, talking theme parks, had a blast. Wizard was absolutely hilarious. We had a really, really fun time. So make sure you check that out. And also make sure you contact Mr. Theme Park Wizard for all your travel needs. He's a travel agent. If you want to go to the parks, you want to go to Epic Universe, contact Mr. Theme Park Wizard. All right, who else we got in here? We got Mr. Seymour Duck. He says, I only ever go to VIP 18 and over seats here in Canada. No kids and in-seating drinks and food. That's your theater, George. That's kids.
Fine. No kids. Yep. That's just it. As I said, go to a Disney movie. Why bring the kids? You go to a Disney theme park. It's why are there kids there? I'm so sick. And that's what I'm so sick and tired of is swiveling through these freaking Mack trucks that they now call strollers. They have a double edge wide stroller for a baby the size of a loaf of bread, and it's I remember sitting in an umbrella stroller. That's all my mom needed for me in the 90s.
Okay, now George, I find great offense to that because my dog is the size of a loaf of bread, and he also has a stroller.
Oh man! Yeah, Jedi pushes his dog around in the stroller.
Shout out to Mickey and Little Guy. I absolutely love OG's dogs because anytime I'm there to visit them, they're always like full of energy, and they're just like, because the one time that Abby and I went to Grinchmas at Universal, we got our picture taken with Max. Well, how Universal does it is it's not a costume character, it's an actual dog of the breed of Max from the film. And we went to OG's place after, and I mean, I have to say, Mickey was very excited because he had the scent of Max all over us.
Oh yeah, and see, Universal has real dogs, unlike Disney, who has fake space dogs. You know, we get the real deal. We get the real deal at Universal. The real deal. Theme Park Wizard here says, "I love going to the theater. I have AMC A-list, so movies are basically free for me. That's awesome. But I also never have any of the theater problems. That's really cool." Actually, Mr. Wizard, his local theater is my local theater. We live very close to each other. And actually, that AMC, I think it's the one that you go to. I'm assuming Mr. Wizard is a banger of a theater. It's a really, really nice one. Now,
OG, real quick before we get to Mrs. Webb, around me, I don't have any AMCs. The closest one is like 35 minutes south of me. So I have 3 Regals within a 10-minute like drive. I had Regal Unlimited, which is their equivalent of the AMC A-list. I do think the AMC A-list is still better because with the AMC A-list, you still get to see all formats of movies for free. With Regal Unlimited, it's only limited to 2D movies, which is fine. I don't really drive out of my way to go see other formats because if I want to go watch 40X, I have to drive like 35, 40 minutes inland to go to 40X Regal Theater, and I still have to pay a upcharge for that. But I mean, you have to kind of give and take with what you have. If I had AMC like A-list, I would get that as well. But they charge about the same price. Regal Limited here is about like $24.99, so $25 a month as well. But here's the thing, though: they charge you the price of the membership depending on where you live. So if you live in San Diego, LA, or whatever, they'll charge you more for the membership. Unless you live in some like place in like the Midwest or whatever, they'll charge you less.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Regal. Don't you have a supermarket, the Regal Eagle, over there in
Giant Eagle?
Oh, Giant Eagle. Okay.
Or as I say in my Pennsylvania accent, I don't say Giant Eagle. I say Giant Eagle.
Yeah, it's like all one word. Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle. That's hilarious. Giant Eagle. Giant Eagle. All right. Here we go. And we got Mrs. Webber in the house. Mikey never told the misgender story. I want to hear it again. Okay, tell your Star Tours misgender story. We got to hear this.
Okay. So it was me and George, of course, we're hanging out at Disneyland. And this is a day where all this weird shit was happening to us all day for whatever reason.
All day, like every few minutes, some like weird, bizarre shit was going on.
Only with us, George. Yep. And so anyways, we get to Star Tours, right? And then not only does the cast member, I mean, bless her heart, but she kept like putting us in different lines. It's like, okay, go here. Wait, no, go here. Wait, no, go here. And then then we got on the ride, and then there was still one seat that was empty, but she put George in the front. So then George was able to leave that seat and come sit next to me. So we're sitting down there, right? Okay, cool. We're riding with each other now. Great. Now, I know that in Star Tours, they get your picture, right? So I'm trying to talk to George and have movements and stuff like this, like, yeah, blah, 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 right? So that way
he's telling me this. He's saying if I keep on talking and moving, they won't, like, pick me to be the rebel spy.
Exactly. So I'm just talking to George, right, being animated, and then the ride starts. I'm like, okay, cool, we're good. And then all of a sudden, hold it right there. Like, we're searching for... Have you seen her? And then my picture shows up. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how the hell did you get a picture of me when I was talking to George? And then why am I a she?
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then just to add salt into the wound as the ride's going on, we're just laughing hysterically, like at this point. But then Yoda comes up through the transmission and he goes about like one on your ship, and C-3PO says the spy, and he goes, deliver her, you must.
Yes. I love it. I absolutely love it.
What is this?
That's fantastic, Mike. That is absolutely fantastic. And Dragon Blood here making fun of George's Pennsylvania accent. Downtown George. Downtown. That deserves a giant eagle. There you go. That deserves a giant eagle. Absolutely. Oh man, we got Cameron in the house. Cameron, thank you for joining us. Will Disney ever make a coronation announcement to put Mirabelle or even Asha in their Disney princess lineup? Oh, that's interesting. They did it for Mirabelle, which is kind of surprising because she's a Pixar princess technically. But she's
Merida, right?
I'm sorry, not Mirabelle. Yeah, what am I saying? Merida from Brave. So I don't know. I mean, it's mostly symbolic. I mean, technically, I didn't see Wish, but isn't she a princess in that movie?
Well, Merida is considered a princess, not like the typical traditional Disney princess, but because she comes from royalty. You know, she was going to be betrothed, you know, to Mary in order to, you know, take over ruling the kingdom and everything. With Mirabelle and Asha, Asha is she's like a towns woman, like a towns girl.
Okay.
Living in the village. And
I still haven't seen Wish. I'm a terrible Disney fan. I still haven't seen it.
And here's the thing with Wish. Again, I really liked it. I didn't absolutely love it, but I think it's a decent movie. I just think Disney kind of hurt themselves by promoting and marketing it as like, oh, this is 100 years in the making from the studio that brought, you know, that gave you Pinocchio, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, Cinderella, and they're like running all this time. We're giving you Wish, and it's like, oof.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Shane. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Real quick. I would say to your question, I would probably consider her as a Disney princess because if Princess Leia can be considered as a Disney princess, why couldn't Merida or whatever her name is be considered as a Disney princess? Yeah, she's Pixar, but she still falls under the Disney banner. Right?
Yeah. And that movie felt more Disney to me than Pixar. So yeah, no, I agree. I have no issue with it. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all semantics anyway. But yeah, I love that movie. Actually, I know a lot of people didn't like Brave. I love Brave. My grandmother, when my grandmother was really young, she had big red curly hair like that. So I love Brave for that reason as well. So pretty cool movie.
The only thing I always wondered about Merida, like with that big set of hair, I always wondered if the carpet matched the drapes.
Oh, I'm sure it did. Absolutely. George always has to go there, right? You always got to go there, huh, George?
Well, George, go find out for us.
Oh, Jesus. Go find out for us. Shane Narani says, Eva, maybe they felt you'd make a beautiful woman.
Oh, you know what? You never know. I mean, maybe so, or maybe they noticed me from OG55 and they're like, that guy there, fuck him in particular. You know, make him a woman.
Yeah, fuck him in particular. Exactly. Josh D'Amaro was probably doing the computer that day, and was like, "Oh, this guy says some shit about me in a video. I'm gonna make him a."
It's like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride going nowhere in particular. It's like fuck that guy in particular,
right?
Yeah, right.
That guy right there. See him?
That guy right there. All right, we got James Gorgie in the house says, I think the best thing the Snow White remake can do is bring back the relevancy of the original. Yes, actually, that's the case, James, for all these live action movies. It always brings the conversation back to the original, which is cool. That's a benefit to the live action remakes, is that the original film gets more love. And I would bet you, I'm not privy to the data. Contrary to popular belief, OG gets no special access, okay? Yes, I have Sunday brunches with Bob Iger at Jeffrey's in Malibu, but that doesn't mean I have any special access, okay? But I would bet you that the Disney Plus numbers go up for the animated versions of these movies when the live actions come out. I would almost guarantee it. So what do you guys think about that? Do you like that idea? George, what do you think about it?
I agree. Yeah, I think especially if the live action is shitty, the numbers would go up for the animated because they'd be like, oh my God, we got to go back to like what this really is about. But no, in all seriousness, no, I think it does strike up a conversation, because when you breathe new light in a movie that's over 50, 60, even 70, 80 years old. I mean, I recently just went to the El Capitan for the 85th anniversary screening of Pinocchio. I mean, like that movie is 85 years old. So, I mean, these movies have stood the test of time. So to actually bring out live actions, whether they're good or bad, it does, strike even a conversation with parent and adult that maybe the child hasn't seen the animated films yet or in a long time. It's like, well, we just seen the live action. Let me show you the animated film that it was based off of, and that's, I agree.
Yep. Yeah. What say you, Webba?
Yeah, I don't have much thoughts on this, but I do think that like a lot of the live action movies, it actually makes people want to go back and watch the better movie, which is the animated version. So they're like, well, this movie's trash. Hey kids, how about I show you the actual OG version?
Exactly. That's exactly. Yep.
And we got Mr. Seymour Duck here, says, need that special access? I got you, OG. Speaking of Mr. Duck and his special access, this is what, look, Seymour is absolutely brilliant. I love this man. So today he posted this. I've officially been hired by Disney to be a full-time Bob Iger yes man. Yes, it's true. I've sold out. Mouse money hits different. I love it. Some of you eagle eye reply guys notice I started defending Disney like my life depended on it. Well, now I'm doing it with benefits and a dental plan. Yes. And keep going, keep doing it, Seymour. To the haters, keep yelling into the void. I'm too busy agreeing with Bob and cashing checks. Mr. Seymour Duck, you are fantastic, brother. You cash those checks, bro. You cash those motherfuckers.
Brand new money, brand new hundreds, got a bunch of zeros like a bag of new Funyuns.
Seymour Duck's amazing. Absolutely amazing. We love you, Mr. Duck. Kiki and Luca. Exactly, Bubba. Exactly. It deserves a round of applause. That tweet was perfection. Kiki and Luca, do you think every land should have sit-down restaurant, quick service, and at least 3 rides and one... hold on. I don't know where the rest of this is. Oh, and 1 show. I mean, in an ideal world, Kiki and Luca, yes, I do think that, but... Well... It's not. They don't do that nowadays. They build it kind of on the smaller side, and they can expand it later depending on like demand and how popular it is. So that's kind of like the business model now. But in an ideal world, yeah, I would love to see all that stuff in one land. But what say you, Webba? You got thoughts on this, brother?
Yeah, I do. Actually, to an extent, it still is that. But actually, Adventureland used to be exactly that. You had you had the Tiki Room, Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones. You had the Aladdin show. I forgot what it was called, Aladdin Oasis or something. And then you still had Bengal Barbecue. And then you had the store, the shop. So in that little land, you had all of those things in there. And then plus you also had the treehouse. So for such a small, cramped, condensed land, there was a lot of stuff going on in there actually. But yeah, I do think that And this is like one of my problems too with the newer lands, OG and George, that I've been talking about, is with the new IP lands, right? They're so massive on a big grand scale, which is really cool, right? But how much substance is there in these lands? How much is there of things to do in these lands? And that's my kind of small concern, is because they take up so much space and you're not really leaving a lot of other space for other things that you can probably do.
I'm gonna play both sides of this, which I actually agree with you. I think like to do an immersive land, that's great, that's perfect, but it also counts of what you put in these lands. And I love like going into Adventureland, as you have mentioned, Ebba, and Fantasyland. They got so many like attractions, like you don't know like where to go to next. But then the newer versions of these lands, and I think Disney kind of adapted the way of how they did for Wizarding World, is by having 1 or 2 attractions, maybe a quick service, and they call it a day. And then you have the immersiveness of the land itself. But I also think too, that a lot of people think and surmise that once the land is built right then and there, then it's a one and done. It's finished. But I still think that still like with Pandora, as an example. As of right now, they only mentioned one attraction. Chances are there may be two. We'll have to wait and see. But even if there is two or just one, chances are down the road, eventually they will expand these lands. And that's where I think they kind of start off kind of less so they can add more. Where if they add more all at once, there's no room for growth.
Well, yeah, and if you add all of it at once, or you add too much, and then it flops, now you have this huge thing, and it's not popular.
So I agree with that. However, I do want to kind of play devil's advocate on this section. Right? Is for that land you create, right? Do you want more IP of that land as an extension, or do you want to create something else? So that's like my question. So do you want more Pandora, or do you want a new IP that would take up that space that would have been the extension of Pandora or whatever, Avengers Campus or what have you?
What say you, George?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that to an extent. I think it's like a case by case basis too. I think like of how popular the IP is, where I think kind of going back to even what I was saying, like I guess even with Pandora, I mean, technically if they really wanted to go out balls to the wall, they really could. I mean, even though that the film
would those be blue balls because they're Pandora? No.
Yeah, they would have to be blue balls. Well, I mean, I guess with the new film coming up, I guess they would be ashy blue balls.
I guess so.
But
that's fire, bro. That's fire.
But I still find it fascinating that when people say that they're not like fans of Avatar, but yet they make over $2 billion a piece. So I think it's like not people are fans of like not as like a franchise, but like just for a one and done kind of thing to see this spectacular film like on the big screen, like on IMAX. And that even goes back to like what we were talking about the theaters. I think like those are the films that I think people like really would rather spend their money on. You have films Avatar, Fantastic Four coming out, the live action How to Train Your Dragon. I think those are going to be the movies. But yeah, I think as far as like the lands go, I think it goes like by a case by case, depending on like what the IP is.
Yeah, now Cameron here says there better be a second Avatar ride in there that they're not telling us. I've heard rumors, Cameron, there is. I've heard that from multiple different sources. There is. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not going to open with phase 1, but they do have a second attraction planned for that land. So
are you kidding? Phase 1 isn't even opening with phase 1.
Yeah, I know. It's taking forever. Yeah. They got to tell us where that thing is going. That's driving me crazy. But yeah, there will be a second ride eventually, Cameron. But who knows when. Mouseword Bound, thank you for joining us, Mouseword. Do you think we'll ever see a Cars Land expansion of some kind in DCA? You know what? I kind of don't think we will. I got to be honest with you. And I kind of hope we don't. Cars Land is one of my favorite areas at Disneyland Resort. I absolutely love it. But DCA is very kind of like limited on space. And I think we need more variety with the IP and the experiences. And I feel like Cars Land already takes up a huge chunk of real estate for DCA. I want to see other stuff being utilized, other franchises, other things in that park. So we're getting a brand new Cars Land that's completely different than the one we have out here in California. We're getting another one of those, or we're getting a different version of it in Florida. That's cool. That's the move, I think. But to add more cars to DCA, it's just, we have so much Pixar in that park already. So that's why as much as like Pandora and Avatar doesn't make a whole lot of sense in California Adventure, it's kind of like refreshing though, that it's not like a Pixar thing again. So I don't know. I don't want more cars. I'm cool with what we got. But what say you, Webba? What do you think, brother?
Oh, actually, George, do you think this would be a good time to tell OG my idea?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad, actually, because I'm actually glad that you could do it on a live, too. Because everyone, when you hear this, it may take you a couple seconds to get it, but I actually think this is genius if Disney can pull this off. But before you do, Ebba, to answer this question, I feel like that Cars isn't going to get an expansion because the expansion pad that actually was for Cars is now going for the expansion of Avengers Campus. They're pretty much going to utilize that whole entire space. Right now, there's not enough land that they could expand, which I don't really know how they would do it. However, if there was one thing that I wish that they would, was the original concept that former Imagineer Kevin Rafferty made, where they did a West Coast version of the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater, where you sit in convertible cars.
Did you see the comment?
Which one?
Love to see the drive-in restaurant.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yes,
there it is. Yeah. No, that would be cool. Like a restaurant would be awesome, but I wouldn't want like a huge expansion of the land.
Yeah, I would just say the restaurant It's another sit-down restaurant. It could be heavily themed. Plus, at the very end of the credits of the Cars first film, the cars are in a drive-in and they're watching like the bloopers and everything. So that would be kind of cool if they can squeeze that in there. But other than that, that would be it. But I'm going to pass it over to you, Ebba, because you got to tell OG and you got to tell everybody in the chat your idea for DCA.
Yes. So also, Daddy Josh, Paul Iger, if you guys are watching Disney, feel free to use this idea. So I actually I thought about this and I told George, and I want to bring it to you guys. So remember how we had this whole thing, right? If Avatar comes in, it's like, what does that have to do with California? This is Disney California Adventure, right? We could probably rename it to Disney Cinematic Adventure. That way you still have the acronyms, right? George, I actually came up with the second idea that would change the context of the park, but it would still make you can still do the acronyms though. So I have two ideas. One, OG, you know how, and George brought up to me, you talked about the harbor, right? Kind of a harbor, Pixar Pier or whatever. If you have Pandora, that's very ocean-y, right, and stuff like that. If the park was, what was that?
Possibly Moana.
Oh yeah, possibly Moana. If the park was kind of that Disney Sea vibe a little bit, where you have a harbor and some ocean like type of IPs in there, you could
take us to church.
You could still have the acronym DCA, except it would be Disney Sea Adventure. And then when you say DCA, D for Disney, SEA for Sea, and then A for Adventure, DCA.
Oh, so, that's interesting.
Yeah, but if you didn't want to do the kind of C route, and you wanted to just have a more generalized theming, my second idea was you have to remove one letter, and that is the A. Just put in another E for C, Disney Sea Adventure. So then, because now you have a bunch of like IP and adventure in the parks, and Disney sees the adventure. So that was my two ideas: either Disney Sea Adventure for like the ocean, DCA, or DCA again for Disney Sea
Adventure. I'm glad you brought that back up, Ebba, because actually Disney Cruise Line has a Broadway style show called Seas the Adventure, and they spell it out SEA. SEA, like Seas, SEAS, Seas the Adventure.
Yeah, interesting, cool ideas. Absolutely. Hey, Josh DeMar, if you're watching, Ebba's not going to charge you. You can use that; it's free to use. So you're free to use it. Absolutely. Kiki and Luca here says you guys have mentioned that DCA may need a name change. But what's wrong with Disney California Adventure since it's in California? Tokyo Disney is in Tokyo, Disneyland Paris is in Paris. You're right, Kiki and Luca, but here is my issue with it, and here's why it's different. Tokyo Disney is not themed to Tokyo, right? It's the location of the resort. The problem with DCA in that same mindset is that it's a singular park, number one, but like it's not. How do I word this? It's really hard to explain this.
I think I know what you're trying to say. It's like it's not paying homage to like Tokyo, but it's like it gives off the cultural aspects of like what they're.
Well, Well, what I'm trying to say is that if you're going to do that, right, where you're like, well, if it's Disney California Adventure, it's in California. Well, then why is Disneyland? Why don't we have Disneyland California then? Like, why isn't California in the name for Disneyland? It's not. So it's just weird for me to to have the location of the park in the name. I don't know why. That kind of irks me. And here's the thing too, and California Dreamin' mentioned this, renaming an entire park costs a lot of branding. It does cost a lot, California Dreamin', but here's the thing, it's worth it in the end. The ROI on that would be huge. If you change it to Disney Cinematic Adventure, you can theoretically put anything you want in that park. You can put Moana. You can put Villains Land. You can do literally anything at that point. So it's going to cost you, yes, up front, but long term, you're making your money back. You're doing all kinds of stuff that you could never do if you didn't rebrand it. So that's why I think the rebrand is important. If you make it cinematic, you can literally put all the IP that you would ever want in that park.
Would there be a whole lot of change? Like obviously the sign out front, they would have to change. Is there a whole lot of signage like within the park that they would have to change? Like obviously they would have to change like the park map, but that's easy to do. If they put any billboards up and everything, the turnaround rate for billboards, you switch them out, often anyway. But as far as like within the park itself that holds Disney California Adventure,
I mean,
a lot that they would even need to change.
You only have to change one word on the sign when you enter, just the California. I mean, do they even have DCA on the napkins anymore? Is DCA on the cups? Or I think they stopped all that a long time ago. It's all generic Disney park stuff.
Disney parks, yeah.
So really, what's costing a fortune at this point? I mean, not much. There isn't much branding inside the park. That says the name of the park. So yeah, I would change it. Now Kiki and Luca, coming back to you for a second. I get what you're saying. It's just, for me, it's one thing to have the resort, have the city that it's in, Tokyo Disney, Disneyland Paris Resort. It's just weird to me to have the park. Because if California isn't the theme, then why is it in the name? I mean, because Disneyland is in California too, but California is not in the name for that. So I don't know. And it could be I have OCD, and it could be just my OCD. I don't know. But for me, that kind of bugs me. I don't know.
Well, I think DCA needs to really branch out of the California thing, and also get out of the kind of event thing too. That's the other thing I don't like about California Adventure is it's become a event park. I would like to see a separate park like a Westcott for that type of thing. Whereas DCA is just another, it's another separate theme park for Disney, not specialized for like events, because it wasn't really made for these like events all year round. But yeah, I do think for California, I mean, there's a lot of California stuff. Absolutely. Like, you could have Coco Encanto that has, again, high Hispanic cultural here in Southern California, right? But, there was also talk of them wanting Wakanda over here. I guess.
I do know with Wakanda, there is, I think at the very end that
references
the base, is set in California, like outside of Wakanda. But, you can tie, those small things in. But I feel like that Disney are, really holding themselves back just by the one word in the title of DCA.
Yeah, it's tough. It is. Rick Nick, member for 8 months. Rick Nick, thank you so much for being a member. Do appreciate you. Howdy, y'all. Off topic, but I recommend the Cauldron across the street from Knott's. Very well done themed bar. I appreciate you all. Hey, you know what, George? Maybe we can do a bar chat video from there.
Hey,
the Cauldron. Thank you for the recommendation, Rick Nick. We do appreciate you. Ben Zacuto here says, what are we thinking about Universal Hollywood expansion rumors? Harry Potter, Diagon Alley, Ministry of Magic coming to the east flank of the park, where the existing lake and studio tour entrance is. Also, what are we thinking would replace The Simpsons, regardless of Fast and Furious coaster, maybe Far, Far Away Shrek theme? For Simpsons, I would like, if they can swing it, if they can fit it in there for Simpsons, I would love to see a version of Dark Universe. I've always said this, Ben, the Universal monsters are really the heartbeat of that studio, very similar to the Disney fairy tale is for Disney. I I think that to have a whole area dedicated to monsters where the monsters were like birthed at that studio would be absolutely incredible. So The Simpsons, yeah, it should be, I think, the monsters. In terms of the Diagon Alley and all that, I heard from our friend Theme Park Wizard, and if Wizard's still in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, Wizard, but there are rumors that the Supercharged building might become some Harry Potter expansion. It's not like, these are rumors at this point, but they're kicking that idea around. So that would be very, very interesting. I would hope that would happen. The Harry Potter stuff is always very well done. So I would love to get the train and all that stuff. It'd be dope, dude. It'd be dope. But I don't know.
And Ben, if you haven't checked out my channel, Citrico Central, yet, me, OG, and Wizard did a bar chat at Universal, and we were actually discussing that as well, where Wizard was saying the section of The Simpsons, because it's not really big, that a lot of people were telling him that Dark Universe down in Orlando is the smallest land out of the 5. So even if they weren't even to use everything like the Curse of the Werewolf roller coaster, and they just wanted the Monsters Unchained, and say the burning windmill and the steakhouse, you can pretty much, I think, get those 3 things in that Simpsons section for sure.
Absolutely.
But could you though? I mean, because obviously you guys have been there recently, but I'm thinking about, as you're talking about those, OG, and I'm like looking at the space. You have Wizarding World entrance right here, the coaster right here, and then it's just like the Simpsons, just kind of like little kind of roadway, and then it's like the little circular, and then it's connected to where you go for the trams. So is that enough space really for those things?
Well, again, we were talking about that because I even had questions about that, and Wizard, he believes that it would, because the building that holds Moe's, Krusty Burger, and the Cletus Chicken Shack, that basically can be formed into one, which that would essentially be the sit-down restaurant, the steakhouse. And then the Simpsons ride building is massive. If they ended up, I think honestly that building needs to just be like taken down and like rebuilt out like that.
That's what they would do. I mean, if they were to do monsters, you would bulldoze, you would get rid of the building and have to rebuild it. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, that would be the space, because I mean, you got all that space there. That's where essentially monsters would go. And then the burning windmill, I mean, you can pretty much, I mean, even if you couldn't even do the windmill, I mean, even if you just had the restaurant and the land with a lot of the aesthetic buildings, Wizard says that it could potentially fit there.
Yeah. It's interesting. Mouseward Bound here. Oh, by the way, I want to thank Mr. Seymour Duck for gifting 1 OG55 membership. Thank you, Mr. Duck. We do appreciate you, brother. And again, brilliant tweet today, Duck. Yeah, that was freaking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Mouseward Bound here says, can we just get rid of the Mummy and bring Back to the Future back? Thank you, please. I want to see a next gen Back to the Future attraction, because Comcast has done a really good job with their theme parks, right? I think we can all agree on that. They've done really good stuff. Epic Universe, all this Wizarding World. I want to see what current Universal can do with that franchise. What kind of technology, Can you imagine like a DeLorean, like on this, like a freaking Kuka arm going through sets and stuff, and like, dude.
And OG, that's the thing, is that I love that. I know that Comcast Universal, they love their coasters, right? No doubt about it. However, but Back to the Future, I wouldn't want to see like a coaster car that's just like DeLorean lookalike. I would want a in-depth, immersive, technological, advanced ride that is, you're in the DeLorean and you're going through scenes or whatever.
Right.
Guys, we're talking about a car that has a bunch of technology on it that we don't even have today. So I would want something that is replicated in that fashion, not just some roller coaster you're going, upside down and whatever. I want it to be really advanced and in depth.
Oh, 100%. Like Dragon Blood here says, OG, Back to the Future Kuka Arm ride with the same story of the OG ride. That would be cool. Like you have the Kuka Arm tech. You're going through these scenes. It could be physical. It could be also screen based. Kind of mix the both of them, dude. It would be incredible. Now, here's the thing. With FanFest coming up, Back to the Future is a big part of that equation. And if Back to the Future sells a lot of merch and is proven popular at that FanFest, it might kind of wake Universal up to the idea that, hey, this franchise is viable for us. And maybe we'll get an attraction. I hope so.
I personally feel like the IPs that they decided to use for FanFest is not a coincidence. I feel like these are ones that Universal is possibly looking into adding into the future, because once I purchased my FanFest ticket, I ended up getting a survey as to like why I purchased that FanFest ticket, what drew me to it, which are you excited to see, and I had to put them in order: Back to the Future, Dungeons and Dragons, One Piece. Like you literally, it was asking you in full detail of like what was drawing you to FanFest, and I literally said for every single question that it asked, it was for Back to the Future. But it does make me wonder, like in Universal fashion, that again, just like with Disney, they don't do things on coincidences. This could be a beta test to see really what is going to work. And honestly, I could see Back to the Future coming back in a big way.
Oh, that'd be great. Absolutely great. I love that franchise. When I was a kid, man, I wanted a hoverboard so bad. You have no idea.
OG, real quick, do you mind if I bring this up real quick? Because we're on Back to the Future.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, so I just want to talk about the Lego Live with Back to the Future real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so for everyone out there, OG was kind enough to let me start a new series called Lego Live Spider Days, and the first set I started with was Back to the Future set, and the first video was kind of rough because it's a lot of pieces, but I have a format now that I will be presenting, in which will be, if it's a bigger set, each video live will just be a bag per video, so that way over time through each video you see the model being built as through each video is going. So like video 1 would be bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, bag 4, etc. The smaller models will be built more like in that time frame, but stuff like this where it requires a lot of time, like the Back to the Future DeLorean, it will be by bag, so that way it doesn't take up too much time, and you can see it as the progression goes for each video.
Yeah, and check out his Lego live shows are really fun. He'll pick a Lego set, and it's live, obviously. That's why it's Lego Live. And he'll build the Lego set, and he'll take questions like we are now. So you get to watch him build the Lego set. He takes your questions, basically like a build and talk kind of thing. Really, really fun. So check those out. It's they're on Saturdays, but not every Saturday. But just keep an eye out, and it probably like once a month-ish, right? About like roughly. So keep an eye out for those. California Dreamin' here says Pokemon should go where the Simpsons is and Dark Universe down in the Mummy and Transformers. I'm down with that. That's cool. Dude, Pokemon is a mint. I mean, Universal is going to make so much money on bringing those to the to their parks.
I would also say get rid of that damn water splash area that's themed after that fictional water park in Despicable Me. I think that thing is like so ugly.
Oh, the silly Playland thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but yes, you're right. You're not wrong. But the Minions Cafe, do not sleep on that grilled cheese sandwich. It is fire, bro. It is absolutely.
How many times? I still have to try that.
It's so good. I don't know. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. So that's the best thing in that area. But you're right, though. The little silly Playland thing. Come on, Universal, you can do better. Let's be honest. Mr. C, more Duck, Lego Mario Kart. When? Ebba, when are you going to do a Lego Mario Kart build?
Yeah, let me focus on one build at a time. I'll get to it. I still have like Jurassic Park. I have Sonic. I have the Mandalorian head. I have the Spider-Man head. I have all those. But Seymour, just for you, brother. If you want a Mario Kart one, I'll do a video just for you, brother.
There it is, Mr. Seymour Duck. Mr. Seymour Duck. Ben Zacuto. Love your profile pic, by the way. Amazing movie. We love Luca. What are we thinking could be the expansion pass for Epic Universe? Maybe Oz, Wicked, and Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit. Right now,
Lord of the Rings hasn't already been part of it, to be honest with you.
Like, come on.
Well, this is the thing. Warner Brothers is not doing great right now. I mean, this guy, David Zaslav, is an absolute disaster. Okay, let's be honest. As an animation fan, what he's doing with the Looney Tunes really ticks me off. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But
Dare.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. No, but like, if I really wish that like Universal would make a move to buy Warner Brothers, because then this whole thing with like Lord of the Rings would like for sure happen, I think. But I think right now, realistically, I think Wicked. It's an in-house franchise for Universal. It's a huge moneymaker for them. They're coming out with a sequel. I think it's gonna be Wicked. What say you, Webba?
Dude, look, okay. I agree with everything that was said down there. I would love to see all those in there. However, I actually was telling George when I first saw the movie. Wicked was actually kind of a weird one for me because here's the thing. Growing up as a kid, I liked the Wizard of Oz movie, right? But it wasn't anything special. And then here's the thing, I don't care for musicals. I don't, it's not my thing, right? But I went into this movie because I was like, you know what? The trailers seem actually kind of interesting. I want to go watch it. Dude, Wicked was a banger, dude. I left that movie and I was like, wow. I just had the OG55 experience in here, man. I was like, wow. I was like, woo.
His legs were shaking.
Wait. Let me get this straight, Ebba. You were misgendered and you don't like musicals?
I know, right? Come on.
Yeah, George is a big musical guy. George goes to the supermarket singing.
Oh, I do. Yes, I do. But I have to tell you guys this one story, not right now, but another time, like where I was literally in mid aisle in a Walmart and I started twerking. So
twerking?
Yeah.
Hi.
That's actually more sea walking, but okay. I don't know. I don't really have a twerking drop, but yeah. But Ben Zacuto here's. I already read that one. Okay. Let's see.
Real quick though, Wicked was phenomenal. It had great music. The characters were awesome. And here's what I love about Wicked 2. It gave you a bigger expansion on like the world and the lore.
Yes.
That universe. It was awesome. And seeing like Emerald City I was like, dude, I want to see this in a theme park. This would be awesome.
And even Universal admitted to the fact of like Wicked is coming to the Universal parks in a big way. So we should be expecting, I don't know where, I don't know when. My guess is I'm thinking more towards Epic for Wicked because at least, I mean, Wicked is for everybody, whether you're male, female, what have you, but at least it's something a little bit more geared towards young girls, you know, like with Ariana Grande, you know, with Glinda and the Wicked Witch. So it could definitely be something to kind of balance out because you have, you know, Harry Potter and you have Dark Universe. So it'd be kind of cool to, you know, balance it out for like something for everybody. I think that would fit very well in Epic.
I thought you were going to break out into song right there because you said, I don't know when, I don't know how. You didn't finish it off with I feel something started. I can't sing, but you know what I'm saying. You get the joke. Leo CH here says, I found interesting that Universal Orlando has three based on Harry Potter in all their parks. I wonder why Disney didn't do something like that, or maybe give the same treatment with Star Wars. Here's the thing. I don't know if I like that 100%. Like, I like the Harry Potter lands. I think they're very high quality, obviously. But I think that, okay, for example, I think that when you do that, all the parks kind of feel a little bit too much of the same. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I want Disney to do that. You know, so I don't know. What do you say, George? Do you like that idea of like kind of like having like a Star Wars land in every Disney park in Florida or something like that? Would you want that? Or
the three of us did a video reaction to a YouTube channel called Probably at Disney. If you haven't checked out the video, definitely go check it out. It's here on the channel. Great conversation we had, and the young woman who runs the channel, she was giving the different probabilities of like what can go into Disney's Hollywood Studios, primarily in the animation courtyard area. And one of those suggestions was, could they possibly do another Star Wars themed land, or, you know, or what have you, or even if you had it in another park. Not saying that they can't do it. I just feel like that there is so much that they need to work on with Galaxy's Edge already. It would literally cannibalize everything, like that they would have to start over from scratch to justify, okay, then they're going to tie it in. Okay, how is this going to tie into this? And because with the Harry Potter lands, you can go to them individually, but they kind of are interconnected. Like you can take the Hogwarts Express back and forth to each park that takes you to Diagon Alley, that takes you to Hogsmeade. With with Star Wars, I feel like that Disney kind of sometimes overcomplicates those things. And again, even just like with the Walt Disney World parks, when people say, "Oh, Walt Disney World needs a fifth gate," it does not need a fifth gate right now. Possibly down the road it could, but they need to focus on the 4 parks that they have now. That's the same thing like with the Star Wars. They need to focus on Galaxy's Edge, which out of Disneyland, here at Disneyland, they're making progress. Now, the fact that I don't know why they're just doing one over the other, I'm not sure, but I think that's a lot of issues that just by having one kind of Star Wars themed land, I think it would be a bigger mess if they had multiple.
Well, George, here's another thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but these 3 Harry Potter areas and for Universal, they don't have like any special events for Harry Potter, right? Here at Disneyland, you have Batu all year round, and then you have Star Wars night, and then you have Season of the Force. So again already, and then you have Star Tours in a whole different land. So already having these different events, again, for me personally, defeats the purpose of having a Star Wars land. Whereas with Harry Potter, because they're all kind of in the same world but different locations. But I feel like that there's nothing in those areas that are locked off from a special event
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And actually, OG and I just did a fabulous show that we'll be releasing soon with Mr. King Park. And we did a Hey Bricky reaction where he talks about is Star Tours practically dead, moving forward with like the new offerings, like with Galaxy's Edge and adding a new mission onto Smuggler's Run and everything. So if that is like becoming monotonous because you're adding more missions to Smuggler's Run, you still have Star Tours that's over on a whole nother side of the park. So yeah, I agree with you, Ebba, that if you add another whole land into the mix on top of it, you're going to then have 2 separate individual Star Wars lands, and then here you have Star Tours.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here's an interesting idea. What if they did an Animal Kingdom? Almost like a really kind of elaborate, like maybe petting zoo style thing, but with the creatures of Star Wars. Like you had giant banthas and things like that in this kind of zoo-like area, but it was all themed to Star Wars. Would you guys be okay with that, where there's creatures? You already have the alien creatures with Pandora, so you're not really breaking any kind of theme wall there.
I'm okay with that. I think, but to just have like a section, like just to say like it's a Star Wars section, that would kind of throw it out to me. I think if you were to go that route, kind of just diverting of what I just said, I would do like a the name of the planet is escaping me, but the Ewoks. Endor. Then I would do like Endor, where it's like you can have the Ewoks, and then you could have like the petting zoo, like with the creatures, because then you could still have the nature and like the wooded area. So that I can kind of. I would be okay with that. More
open with that, yeah. Something outside the box, a little more outside the box. I'm gonna be a little more open. Remy D here says, do you guys think Epic Universe needs a train/people mover type of ride that can take people all around the park? You know what, Remy D? It's a great idea. What I would do is actually, since Disney doesn't have the cojones to build Westcott used to have a boat that would go all around the park. Like it was basically like Westcott's version of the Disneyland Railroad, but it was a boat that went all the way around. I would do that with Epic Universe. I'd have a boat that goes all the way around the park and stop at each like portal or whatever. That'd be dope, dude. That'd be really, really dope. Cameron here says it's interesting that Galaxy's Edge is way bigger than Avengers Campus, but Avengers Campus is to double the rides of Galaxy's Edge. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah, I'm not like big on like more is better though, necessarily. But that is true. I guess my only disappointment with the Avengers Campus stuff is that Kuka Arm thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Web Slingers is weak.
Yeah, and it's like one, Disney, how can you do me dirty like that, for one, and then two, with the Kuka arm thing.
I'm the only one who can do you dirty, huh, Webba?
Oh!
I was kidding. Go ahead, Webba.
What do you call it? So yeah, so when I remember when we were on Theme Park Conductors and show for his Conductor Thursdays, and we were talking about the Kuka arm thing. And I know, again, you always say don't get married to concept art. However, looking at the concept art, I was like, what do you even do in this ride, or where do you even go? Because it looks like you're flying around on this Kuka arm, but there's still people in standby who can pretty much see you. Like,
right.
to me, that's very un-Disney.
Yeah,
and I don't like that.
I don't either. And this whole idea, the Imagineers, when they were saying it on that YouTube thing, right? This is Imagineering, it's called, and they were saying like, yeah, we decided that the technology will be the show, and I'm like, okay, that's like, to me, that's like the Pixar Pier thing. We're gonna build a coaster, and that's the theming because it's a pier, right? A coaster on the pier, It's like, come on, Disney, you can do better. The Kuka arm thing really frustrates me. Now, here's the thing: we had an excellent idea how to fix the Kuka arm. How to make it cool. Okay. The biggest problem with the Kuka arm ride is there's no payoff. You trained you go through all this training and there's no end battle. There's no payoff. The cool thing to do would be at the finale show scene for Infinity Defense, your vehicle stops. King Thanos is there. Captain America says, hey, you know what? I don't think we have enough to take King Thanos on. It's not looking good, y'all. It's not looking good. And a freaking Doctor Strange portal on your left opens up, and in come the Kuka arms. And the Kuka arms mingle with the ride vehicles from Infinity Defense, and the Kuka arms and the Infinity Defense ride vehicles battle King Thanos together. And I sound literally like that Patton Oswalt fucking skit from like a decade ago. but that would be the coolest finale, and you make both rides cooler doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Will Disney do it? No, they will not do it. But if they should, that would definitely improve the rides.
Well, dude, I mean, all they had to do was really just kind of go the Forbidden Journey route. Like, make the same style type of ride, except, adjust the Kuka arm to be like if you were in like a like Iron Man suit.
But
right.
To Disney's credit, though, I think if they were to go that route, which I think that's what they were going to do, but I feel like it was kind of a blessing in disguise for them that the Quinjet experience got cut, because there are a lot of people, like even to OG, that can't do Forbidden Journey because of and I know it's more open, with Stark Flight Lab, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to
claustrophobia.
Infinity Defense, they would have to kind of enclose you a little bit because it would have to fit with the set scenes to not be able to take you out of that realm. But like if someone is, claustrophobic, or, they have, I feel like that they wanted to go a route where, because they already have a more intense ride with Mission Breakout, and I feel like that they wanted to kind of have a little bit of a middle ground with Infinity Defense. I think that's the only reason why they wouldn't utilize the Kuka arms specifically just for that ride.
Well, but true. But George, here's the thing: you have 4 attractions, 2 which would be more thrilling, and then 2 which would be more family oriented. You have Tower, you have Guardians Mission Breakout, and then you have Stark Flight Lab. Okay, the 2 more intense rides. Then the other 2 you would have crappy Oven Toaster, Web Slingers, and then you have Infinity Defense. So you're pretty much even 2 for 2, So I get it. You want to be as encompassing of everybody as you can be, but DCA is kind of the more edgier park. So
yeah, it's true. It's a good point. Good point. Jesse Adventure here says, bring back Hey Bricky on the show. Yes, we will definitely. Actually, George and I were just talking about that today, believe it or not, just a few hours ago. So we definitely will. And Alan O here says, went on Star Tours today, and it was a 5-minute walk on all day. The cabin wasn't even packed. See, we did a video, Alan. We literally recorded a video today with Mr. King Park. It will drop tomorrow. and we talked about all of this. It's coming out tomorrow, but with this whole Mando and Grogu kind of new mission thing coming to Smuggler's Run, and Disney showing a willingness now to sort of like update these missions on Smuggler's Run, does that take away Star Tours' leverage? Because the whole thing with Star Tours that made it cool was that you get different missions. But if Smuggler's Run starts to have different missions, Star Tours becomes way more irrelevant. So we might be seeing the end of Star Tours. I mean, maybe not like, this year, but maybe by the end of the decade. I don't really know. So we do talk about that in the video though. And it drops tomorrow. Something you'd like to share with the class, George? You're on your phone? No,
Actually, no. What actually was, Abby sent me something which I got all excited, and this is why I can't stand this freaking day, because it always catches me off guard. Because I forgot today was April 1st, that they were saying that the dragon is officially back at Fantasmic.
Oh, I hate April Fool's Day. I hate April Fool's Day, bro.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, damn, today's April 1st. Like, why couldn't that have been announced on any given day?
Wait, George. I think that was Daddy Josh telling you that.
It was Daddy Josh, absolutely. Cameron Dolphin here says Star Tours and Disneyland need to turn into Wall-E or something else. I agree. We have a 14-acre Star Wars land. Come on, let's utilize the Star Wars in the Star Wars land. Let's free up space in Tomorrowland for other franchises, right? We got Fantastic Four coming online. I think it's going to be a big hit. I believe it will be $1 billion movie. We have Elio, which has potential. That might be a big hit for Pixar. That could fit in Tomorrowland. We even have a live action Lilo and Stitch, and you can potentially put a Stitch attraction. They've done it before in Tomorrowland. So we have 3 franchises right now that you can put in Tomorrowland. And why are we putting Star Wars stuff when we have 14 acres dedicated to Star Wars? It makes no sense to me at all.
I will say, I think the thing, OG, that Star Tours does have the one up for me personally on Smuggler's Run is I don't have to do anything on the ride. I can just sit down and enjoy the experience. Where on Smuggler's Run, I get it, it's interactive, it's like a game, but I don't want to be pushing buttons. I just want to sit there and be taken on a ride, and I'm almost going to die, right? So I would rather, it's like if you were it's like if you were on Indiana Jones and you were like actually trying not to crash the car, right? I mean, like.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I have to say this. You mean you just want to sit there, do nothing, enjoy the ride, almost die, and get misgendered?
Exactly, George. That's the ride I want.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. No. Well, on Smuggler's Run, you definitely do see your life flash before your eyes. If you get like a 6-year-old piloting, it's white knuckle the whole way.
Which again, why I don't even know why the child is there in the first place. It's Disneyland. So it's
George's like no children at all.
It's hilarious. Dragon Blood, depending on how Elio does, which I'm looking forward to. I can see Elio retheming Star Tours. Yeah, I can see that too, Dragon Blood. Absolutely. If it's a banger of a movie.
That would be the kind of movie that would fit in with that kind of like ride system, because you would have it. It's thrilling, but not like too thrilling, where you can kind of get away with like changing different scenes, maybe of the movie, wherever Elio goes in space. And I think that would fit nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that little like Japanese style robot in that movie is going to sell merch like crazy. That thing is adorable. Absolutely adorable. Alan, can't wait for tomorrow's Star Wars video. Yes, it's good. It's really, really good. Friend of the channel, Mr. King Park, his second time on the channel. Awesome guy. We love Mr. King. Mr. King Park. We basically break down, we react to a Hey Bricky video about the future of Star Tours. And it's really, really fun stuff. So I think you'll like it. Mouseward Bound, I love that Kuka Arm idea. I hope Daddy Josh is watching. Josh, tomorrow, if you're watching this, you can take our idea and we will not charge you. Just do it. Just make the ride cooler and we'll be happy. And Remy D says here, people asking for a 5th gate are not realizing that just means Disney gets to charge you another admission fee for the same number of rides dispersed through the resort. Yeah.
Ouch. Well, here's the theme though. To kind of counter that a little bit. No, I agree, but to counter it a little bit is you add more stuff to the park. The current parks are just going to get charged more in prices. It happens every time. The more stuff that gets added, the newer stuff that gets added, and every year they're always increasing the prices.
That's why I always say when Pandora comes, when Coco comes, when the Avengers campus grows, when Monsters Inc. and the Muppets take over Rock and Roller Coaster, and you have cars and you have villains, don't be surprised that you don't see an uptick in all the prices, whether it's the tickets, as you were saying, Ebba, whether it's the resort hotels, whether it's the vacation packages. Don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised if you got to shell out some more money, right, George?
Brand new money, brand new hundreds, got a bunch of zeros like a bag of new Funyuns.
Yes, like a bag of new Funyuns. You got to bust out the Funyuns. They're going to charge you an arm and a leg. Absolutely. Jizzy JC says, hey guys, is Murphy ever going to return to Fantasmic? Yes, I have heard that they are rebuilding Murphy, but it's going to be a few more years. Mm-hmm. So it will probably be sometime between now and the 75th is what I'm guessing. So,
and I think they're going to want to take extra time to make sure everything is working properly, so the incident that happened with Murphy doesn't happen again.
Absolutely.
And I think by that time, I think you're right. I think it would be the 75th anniversary because, I mean, the 75th is going to come back, is going to come in a big way, more than just what the 70th is.
Yeah.
I actually can't wait to see what. Oh, sorry, OG. I just want to say I really can't wait to see what this new Murphy looks like. I mean, it was probably mostly the same, but because when that one came out, it was like what 2009, 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So they're rebuilding this one with, I'm assuming, current technology, right, and engineering. So I'm really curious to see how this one's going to really function and look. So yeah, I'm really excited for it.
I want it to start under the water, rise up from under the water, and then walk onto the freaking island.
Walk onto the island?
We want a Godzilla moment.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Come on, Disney. Let's get bold here. Remy D here says, what do you guys think about the new luggage check pilot that Disney World is rolling out with Southwest and Pop Century? George, this is more your department, sir. What do you think?
Yeah, so let me see. What do you guys think about the new? I mean, I kind of hope that this is like the startup point of like bringing back like the Magical Express, if you will, in some format. Because I don't know why. I mean, they told us why, but I still don't know why that was taken away from us in the first place. And especially because OG, we talk about it all the time. Ebba, you say it constantly. We talk about it all the time. It's why is all this shit announced now when it could have been taken care of many years ago? Yes.
And George, I'm glad you brought that up. Because the water parks now are all open, right? Both are open at the same time.
Oh, since 2019, lo and behold, both Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon will be open up the entire summer together. Since 2019, it happened.
Right. So that's happening now. Suddenly, the Rise of the Resistance cannon's getting fixed. The little drippy effect in Hollywood Tower Hotel is now getting fixed. They're doing all the what?
Buzz Lightyear.
They're doing all these things that fans have wanted and this, that, and the other. Why now? Well, I'll tell you why now. It's because Josh is running to be the next CEO. And he's trying to look good. I'm not against the change. These are good things happening. But I feel like the motivations are the wrong motivations. Where was this Josh D'Amaro 3, 4, 5 years ago? You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem I'm having. I'm having a hard time trusting that this is legitimate, like we care about these parks, and not, oh, you know what? I got to look good for the board. I'm running against Dana Walden. You know, it just, I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this.
What say you, Ebba? Because I know that you don't believe in that at all.
In what? Wait, what?
You don't believe in the fact of that Josh is just doing all this right now for publicity.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yes, no, absolutely, no. Daddy Josh would never. You're saying this tells me a couple of things, right? This tells me, I think I told you this. This tells me that one, we all, and myself included, everybody was bashing on, bad guy, Bob Chapek, right? Like he's messing up the parks, blah blah blah. Well, apparently with Daddy Josh doing all this stuff, to me it sounds like he could have done all this at the same time as well. But look, he's under two different leaderships. Right. Bob Chapek and Bob Iger. Second thing is that, like what OG said, to me this looks like in a perceptually is he is doing this as his agenda to be good for CEO, right? Like in my opinion, with your job, you should be consistently doing something. And he wasn't that. It was very inconsistent. And why wasn't he doing this all this before? It's like, Josh, if something's broken in the parks, please fix it. Like, you're chairman of parks. Like, make sure your parks are up and running smoothly. Like, I don't understand why this wasn't the case, And so it drives me crazy because to me, it doesn't feel sincere. And it just feels like, hey, I'm just doing this because I know my butt is on the line for this spot. And I'll do all this to make everybody happy and make myself look good. That's it. Right. And then here's a third thing. What happens if he does get to the CEO spot? Is he just going to stop and just kind of cruise? So
that's my worry, Ebba. That's my worry is that what if he gets the CEO spot? Now he doesn't have to try anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man.
It's like no matter what decision is made by the board, whether Josh gets it or not, it is concerning because he can cruise either way. If he becomes CEO, he could be like, okay, I got the position, I'm cruising. Or if he doesn't get the position, unless he ends up walking out, but if he decides to stay in parks, then he's like, well, I didn't get the position anyway, so why should I care? Why should I try?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's the right man for the job. I mean, no offense to him. Like I said, he seems very charming. He's obviously very good looking, great smile, but I'm not trying to date the guy. So I don't care about any of that. I want a good CEO. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like a lot of this stuff feels very, very disingenuous right now. The timing is so convenient. Go ahead, Webba.
No, you're right, OG. And here's the thing: if he was doing this throughout his entire time as chairman of parks,
yeah, that's different.
Totally different, absolutely. But it's just like, come on, Daddy Josh, come on, like at least like put a bit more effort into showing that you care about the parks, right? I mean, I know he's very good at the public and speaking and whatnot, being the face kind of, but
now I will say this to his defense, and I can't believe I'm doing this. This is where it's going to get kind of telling. Depending on what his decision is, if he becomes CEO or if he doesn't. If he doesn't become CEO and he walks out, then we know he was doing it for just the publicity. If he becomes CEO and then he sits back, put his feet up on the desk and just let everything kind of fall back, then we know, again, it was for publicity. But just to say hypothetically, no matter which way the dice rolls, if he becomes CEO or if he doesn't, and it continues where things get fixed and changed, then what that would say to me is that he started doing all this after the fact of the backlash that he got from 2022 on, when it was like just those shoulda, coulda, woulda, maybes, ifs, and buts, blue sky stuff.
Well, if he becomes the CEO and we continue to see the positive changes, I'll gladly get on here and eat crow.
Yeah, same.
I have no problem doing that. George and I, we were sitting in the hotel. Mm-hmm. We were sitting in that hotel in Nevada, and we were reporting on this D23 in August. And we did a video, and we were very positive about Josh. We say he hit a home run. We've been critical of him before, but this man hit a home run at that expo. I have no problem coming back on here in 5-6 years if he's been the CEO and things have been great. I want that. But I'm sorry, I'm having a little hard time believing what we're seeing is genuine. It's like having like a gold digger wife who's always mean to you, but when she wants a Chanel purse, she's like super sweet. Like it doesn't come off like super authentic or genuine, right? It's a little bit.
It doesn't look good for him the way that it's being perceived right now. He looks like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Little bit.
And I hope we're wrong. I hope we are wrong. If he becomes a CEO and he freaking crushes it and continues the quality push, we will say that.
We'll eat the crow.
I'll eat it. I'll absolutely eat it. Mr. C. Moore.
You'll eat crow, right?
Yeah. Well, that too.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. C. Moore Duck here says there have been some reports that the upcoming Superman movie is lackluster. If the movie happened to flop, what do you think will happen to DC? DC is in a world of trouble. If this Superman movie flops, Seymour, this is like, I don't know, man. I mean, if it flops, man, this is DC's chance right now to really reboot and start over. If it flops, I think they need to take like a decade off or something, and like just really like take some time off and readdress the situation. Now, I don't think it will. I don't think it's gonna flop. But if it does, man, yeah, DC needs to take some time off. Because I don't know what they're going to do. What say you, George? You think? I mean, if it's lackluster and it flops, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Superman. I think everyone has high hopes for this, especially since James Gunn is attached to this. Everyone has high hopes that he's going to, revitalize the franchise, especially in film format. I really feel like that even if he can't do so. I think honestly they need to go on a little bit of a hiatus, kind of regroup, kind of restructure, rethink, because literally you can't just be throwing out projects and just making them just for the sake to say you're making it and they end up flopping. Then that means, and here's the thing, it would be nothing against James Gunn. We know he's very talented as a filmmaker. We've seen him do it with the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. So it has to be something eternally within DC that would have to be looked upon.
Yeah, absolutely. What say you, Webba?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with both of what you guys said. DC, like beforehand, really had a problem. They had a strategy problem. They had just a huge problem mess with their movies, right? Like some were good, some were not. Probably a lot were not. Now you have this other section 2 where I forgot who was the director, but the guy who made the recent Batman movie and then now the Penguin show, which were actually really good, by the way. But those are not going to be part of the new DCU, though. Those are going to be its own separate thing, right?
Right.
So yeah, if this Superman flops, that's gonna really suck because I know a lot of people have wanted a great, awesome Superman movie, and Superman is also one. He's one of the OGs. You want his Superman movie, and I really hope that James Gunn can deliver, and I'm sure he will. The trailer that we last saw, I thought it looked great. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped for it, and I hope it does really, really, really well. And I want DC to actually succeed. Right now, I know this is a whole thing of Marvel versus DC. But I just want to see good DC films. I want to see good Batman movies, good Superman movies, good Wonder Woman movies, right? Good Flash movies. So I hope that they can really get their shit together and make a nice, cohesive arc through all this entire franchise.
Yeah, I want it to succeed. I think the DC characters are awesome. I think they're awesome. I think Superman's a great character. God, it would be a disaster though if that movie flops. I don't think it will though, Seymour. I think it'll do just fine. There's I feel like there's hype around it for sure, and there's also a curiosity factor there. So I think it'll be okay, but it's not good that the early buzz is not that great for it. That's not a good sign. Kiki and Luca here says favorite Val Kilmer movie, Tombstone or Top Gun. He passed away today. I did not know that.
I didn't know either. Actually, I just jumped on right now because not that I didn't believe you, Kiki and Luca, but as I said, I'm always on edge today because it's April Fool's, so I don't know what, but it actually came from Variety that his daughter Mercedes released a statement that he passed away from pneumonia today. Because he had a lot of complications and issues from throat cancer and everything, and he was only 65.
Yeah, my mom actually went to high school with him, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. To answer your question, Kiki and Luca, Top Gun.
And I'm so glad that he was able to be a part of Top Gun Maverick as well. With as little part as he had, but they fit in his condition within the storyline and everything. So I am glad that he was able to make it for the sequel.
Absolutely. And we got the one and only Cassandra in the house. Cassandra is in the house. DC and Marvel have a lot weighing on their shoulders right now. I hope these movies can deliver this summer. I agree with you, Cassandra. It's not just DC. Marvel has a lot of challenges. You know, they've disappointed a lot of their fans really since the pandemic. After Endgame, they got some work to do. So yeah. And I don't believe that, like when people say, "Oh, it's superhero fatigue," I don't believe that. I think if you make good movies, people will watch. People will be lining up for these movies. It's just when you make weak product, So that's what it comes down to. But Cassandra, since you're here, I'm going to give you a little bit of a cake. There we go. We love our cake. So everybody, we got one more. Okay. CSRS, the 75th anniversary will run through 2030 to 2031. 2031 is DCA's 30th anniversary. Do you think they will do something big like the first phase of Simba to celebrate the occasion? I mean, if they open Pandora, right? Like 2031-ish? Yeah, probably. DCA, though, typically CSRS doesn't have a lot of love with their anniversaries. They typically kind of go like underneath the radar, like a lot of secondary parks do. So they'll make a big to-do about Pandora opening for sure. And if that Pandora opening coincides with a retheme or something, yeah, you'll get the big to-do like you did in 2012. But I don't know. It kind of depends. But historically, Disney has not been good with DCA's anniversaries. It's been largely forgotten. You're lucky if you get a button when you walk in the gate. So what say you, George?
Yeah, I agree. Even like with Walt Disney World, like Epcot, like skims on that fine line, like that they actually do something for like a major milestone anniversary for the park. Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, they'll just get a post from the Disney parks blog saying, happy anniversary, happy birthday to Animal Kingdom or what have you. I feel like that DCA falls in that same pipeline. But if they wanted to tie the 30th anniversary in where it's around the time of the 75th anniversary, as we were mentioning earlier, the 75th anniversary is going to be much bigger and grander than the 70th anniversary, which I do have to mention to everybody. When the 70th anniversary comes and it's a bit underwhelming and it doesn't give a whole lot, just know that it wasn't Disney's intention to go all out for the 70th. It's the 75th that they're waiting to go balls to the wall. And that's why I think that, we'll be getting Murphy the Dragon back in some form or matter. And then with Pandora. So yeah, I could see where they can kind of tie that in with DCA.
Yeah, 75 will definitely be bigger, but I think even for like the 70th, I think it's a decent lineup. Like we're getting Paint the Night, A New World of Color, the Walt animatronic. What else are we getting? Is that it? Wondrous Journeys is coming back.
Yeah, Wondrous Journeys is coming back. And then I kind of like small things like here or there, like they're going to do a meet and greet of Rex. He's coming to the pier for the 70th.
Oh, really?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's decent. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But interesting stuff. Great conversation, everybody. Cassandra, always a pleasure having you in the chat. Dragon Blood, Kiki and Luca, Cameron. We got Mouseward Bound, Shane Narani, Alan O, Mr. C. Moore Duck, Leo CH, Ben Zacuto, of course, the wonderful Kiki and Luca, Rick Nick, who else we got here? Apache, everybody, California Dreamin'. Good to see you again, sir. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55. Now, George, where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And, of course, you can find me right here on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And also check out my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55.
There we go. And Mr. Webber, where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. It was a fun time. You can find me on Twitter, Mr. Webber at WebSlinger760. You can also find me on Instagram at Cobweb91, and that's also the same thing for Threads as well. And you can also find me on OrangeGirl55.
There he is. Everybody, thank you so much for talking shop with us today on this wonderful Tuesday evening. We are going to be doing a lot more of these lives. I was kind of out of commish for a little while there. I had the Rona a couple weeks ago. That was not fun. I also rolled my ankle. So, woo! I'm doing all on the same day. It's amazing stuff. But you know what? OG bounces back. I bounce back fast, and I'm here. We're going to do some live shows again. But George, should we cut the lights? Should we cut the lights and get out of here?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Let's cut the lights.
And cut the motherfucking lights.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.